Hey you guys, it's your girl. I just did a personal reading for a friend for practice and it went really well. The messages were super clear and it was awesome. And I'm still an open channel and feeling well. So I want to do a general reading for all of us. So I'm shuffling the deck, clearing the deck. I'll shuffle it once to clear it, and then I'll do my little opening invocation. I am Jessica Renee Monroe. I'm an Earth Angel, Virgin Mary, Angel of Death. And I call on my guides, guardians, angels, and ancestors, and everyone who catches this video. May the messages that most need to be heard come through. Thank you, team, for supporting me and all of us and keeping us nourished and supported. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle for the friend, client. We didn't have a question in mind. We just pulled cards and saw what came through. I do know that last night was sort of a purgy, emotional, crying type of night. There's definitely been purging energy up in the air. So I kind of have that in mind as I'm shuffling these cards. Got our first card. I feel like I'll start with that one. So let's see. It's the Three of Fire, Integrity. And I feel like that's lavender, right? That looks like lavender to me. So I'm gonna find it. Okay, that's so funny. So the outward meaning for this card is the fear of not getting enough if you don't put in constant effort can finally dissolve. You realize that the most important things in life arrive on their own accord, not because you earned them. Let your heart lead you to the people and circumstances you need to continue growing gently and easily. It's a kick-ass message. What comes through for me as I read that is the most important things in life arrive on their own accord. So if we're doing this reading based on the emotional turmoil and hardship that has been up, these things happen when it's time for them to happen, you know, when we're ready to cry and release and purge feelings. That's just kind of the flow of where we're at. That's kind of my interpretation of that card. If you let the innocence of your heart come to the forefront, most worries will simply fall away. Once you accept yourself just the way you are, competitiveness and envy cease to dominate. Your path to freedom is found in the clarity and simplicity of your heart. Integrity, being in the heart, valuing oneself. So, is that the only card? What card is this? Okay. Son of Air. I've pulled this card before. This is so funny. As I'm like pulling these cards and reading them, like I know who it's for. I don't know if this energy is in the collective or for this person in particular, but the Son of Air card represents rebellion. Urge to be free, vehemence, restlessness, inner conflict, mental agitation. The liberation phase where one breaks away from one's own habitual drop patterns and those of others too is one of the most important steps in growing up. So what did we just say there? Breaking away from habitual drop patterns. Okay. This phase cannot be bypassed. With unflinching clarity, you have to recognize that struggling with your own inner world, phantoms, projections, and identifications will get you nowhere. Once you have seen this for yourself, the inner battle ends. You realize it was you who projected the movie screen, now playing on your internal screen. Thoughts, when not supported and tempered by the heart, are not endowed with positive, life-giving power. Right now, it is best to refrain from carrying your misgivings out into the world or involve more people in your resistance fight. Accept the message of this card and ask yourself what exactly you keep on fighting within yourself. I can relate to that. For me, it's usually fighting my pain, fighting my emotions, not wanting to surrender to grief and all of that stuff, you know? Slowly learn to stay centered, even in the midst of chaotic activity. Learn to rest in the stillness within, the silence that clarifies all things for you. It's so funny, when I read one card and like talk about it, I don't remember what I said because I'm like channeling. Like, what did I say? I don't even know what I said. I've had readers do that to me and it's always been frustrating, but now that I'm doing it, I understand. I'm sorry. Being in the heart, natural confidence, valuing oneself. So basically, I feel like every reading I get has the same meaning and message. Maybe this is just our current theme that's up for us right now. This card is speaking to honoring yourself, tuning into your heart. Don't just be in the head. If you're tripping out and freaking out and in fighty, rebellious energy, temper that by being in your heart. Ingrid Turner led us through an exercise once that I thought was really powerful. So what you do, you can, with your eyes closed in your inner eye, visualize. I like to do like a black or concrete, dense, dark cube in my head. And so breathing is part of this, so we'll take a breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to move the cube down. So you want to picture the cube in your heart center now. And notice what happens to it as you breathe into it for cycles of breath in the heart center. This cube represents mental energy, a mental block, the maze of the mind, the monkey mind, the conflict of the mind. And so when we drop it into our hearts, all of the things that are not in alignment with the heart are going to transmute and shift and fall away. I'm seeing more flow and softness come in. Instead of a black square, black block, I now see like a flowy, almost like there's water in it, fluid, crystal kind of ball. You know, it's like a circle and there's flow. And you can go ahead and feel that orb of water trickle out of your heart into your arms, because your arms are an extension of your heart. And think about hugs and the way that we give love to people. You know, it's with your hands, touch, hug, holding things. So this is a fun practice to transmute mental, rigid, turmoil, energy. Visualize it in your heart. And I mean, probably something different happened for you than happened for me, but go with what you see, you know? Your body is a safe place that you can trust, and your body is your main tool and asset to help you here on earth and to navigate life's obstacles. So trust yourself, you know? Y'all, I pulled the Shaman card. Wisdom, transcendence, intuition, deep knowledge of underlying forces, clear insight into recurring cycles, supernatural talents, otherworldly extrasensory visions. The shaman inside you is capable of merging his intuitive perceptiveness with the wisdom of the elders. Meditate and find out what truly motivates you, what your inner core truly desires. Don't waste time trying to fulfill more superficial desires. They can never satisfy your ancient longing. That is not their task. Shift your attention to what is essential. Most essential in your life is your own being. That kind of connects to the integrity card. Like, tune into your heart. It's the same message. So, let's see, where was that? Without knowing the true essence of your being, your heart will always remain empty and dissatisfied. Without recognition of who you are, without inwardly awakening to that, you stumble like a drunkard through a maze of meaningless limitations. Remember yourself. Take the time and whatever space you need to explore your innermost being. For that, you don't have to go anywhere. So that's internally, and then outwardly. Much of what feels good, much of what feels no longer right for you is ready to leave or fall away. Be thankful. You may have to go through the pain of disillusionment, but that's in fact your liberation. If you want to awaken to reality, no spiritual entertainment technique can help you. It is time to face yourself. The shaman merely reminds you of your spiritual heritage. He points you to your source, the unnameable, the mystery of your existence, the power that created everything and absorbs you back into itself at the end of this life. Contemplate how to best spend your time. This card is mystical as fuck, you guys. So much like the reading I just did for a friend, the first two cards are kind of speaking to the issue at hand or what's happening, and there's pieces of the solution in there too. But the last card is really kind of the nail in the coffin on how to address this issue and what to do and kind of how to move forward. Basically, this card is speaking to tapping into the self in the same way that the integrity card is like honor yourself, like, and the Son of Air is get out of your head and into your heart. This whole reading has a theme of connect to yourself, connect to your heart and your inner knowing. One of my favorite ways to do this is to place my hand on my heart, and I find this really soothing and grounding and centering. That might be a little soft for some people, but it works for me. And if that is kind of soft for you, I invite you to consider what makes you feel connected to yourself, what makes you feel on your path and like the truest version of yourself, you know? Do you know? For me, it's being in nature or being with an animal, dancing. But think of the things that nourish you and support you more than anything else and kind of drop you down to earth. And I encourage you to make time for those things. I think that will help center us and support us in this time of releasing what is not us and letting it go. And just like the Son of Air talks about getting stuck in our own mental stories and whatever, like, we're not trying to do that. We're trying to release and get out of the loop and just surrender and let things fall away. So, you know, do that little kind of meditation I guided us through. Be gentle to yourself. You can even touch yourself lovingly and gently, you know, like we live in our bodies, but sometimes we're so hard to them and rough and mean, but it's okay to be gentle and tender and loving. It's important to love yourself and to be kind to your body, you know, so I feel like this reading is encouraging us to do that, especially with that like meditation that came through with the head to the heart, off the hands. Like, how can you engage life with your hands in a loving way. You can touch yourself in places that feel nice. You can touch someone else. You can pet an animal. But yeah, we want to transmute the mental thoughts and shift them away and have love left and share and receive love. So that's the message of this reading. I hope it finds you well. Please let me know if this resonated for you. Bye.